talk to the students as well that are already there. Yes, some are going to give you the rah-rah spirit speech, this is a great school, and yeah, it may be. But, talk to, various students, when you walk down the sidewalks and stuff at a school, just randomly stop someone and ask them, what's your thoughts about attending such and such a school? And, you'll probably find out quite a bit of information, whether the program that you're wanting to get into, whether it be psychology, whether it be mathematics or, literature or whatever it may be, make sure you do your research. But, a lot of student athletes making those choices yesterday. There were 3 over at Chattanooga Christian that decided to move on in their careers. Olivia Hoffman committed to play soccer at Cedarville University in Cedarville, Ohio. That's a beautiful campus up there. She's a 2-sport athlete, excelling at both soccer and track. She's played soccer since age 6 and settled in at midfield and forward. And in the fall, Olivia and her soccer teammates won district and region and finished a great season as a Division IIA state runner-up under head coach Cal Sneller. Last spring, she and her track teammates were state champs in the 4x200. And so she's going to be making that trip up north to Cedarville. Very fine campus, I will add. Kyla Nash committed to play golf at Tennessee Wesleyan University up in Athens. She celebrated her commitment with friends and family back in November. Evan Officers committed to play football at Maryville College in Maryville, Tennessee. Evan is a punter and has played football since 10th grade, joining the Chargers in the 11th and 12th grade. This past season, he averaged 36 yards per punt and helped the Chargers reach the Division II playoffs under head coach Mark Marlakis. Evan enjoys the camaraderie on the football team, which he describes as more like a family where they have a common interest and they've always have each other's back. That's always great. So congrats to those student athletes as well. Okay. We talked quite a bit in detail yesterday about UT's signings. They got 6 more players, 2 or 4-star prospects, 4 come in with 3-star ratings, bringing the 2018 class to 20. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the NCAA limit on signing student athletes is 25. So they were probably getting pretty close and tapping out. But 20, that's an awesome number. And for a program that is looking to get back on track in the winning ways, Tennessee, along with a lot of other schools, really doing a great job in doing that. Hello out there for people watching on Facebook Live or also on YouTube. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you may be in and around Chattanooga, the Tennessee Valley, or around the world. And, of course, phone lines are open at 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. It's a phone number to call in and give us your input on the signings and stuff. And what do you think is going to be a big thing with helping some of these college programs improve in the upcoming, years? These are at least a 1 to possibly 5-year commitment. Depends on if they get redshirted, if there's injuries involved, they could get an extra year. Rare instances, there could be a 6th year involved, but for the most part, people generally get out in 3 to 4 years. If they decide to leave early for the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, there's a lot of variables out there, but generally you're making a 4-year commitment for the most part. So UTC, we're looking at having Coach Tom Arth in here with us early next week. So we'll let you know more on that as we get a little bit closer, talking about UTC's recruiting class and the perspectives toward the 2018 season. Before you know it, spring practice will get underway for the football team. This is sort of like the last ditch, finding out who's going to be coming aboard. Even though a lot of these athletes won't be able to join the team until after they get out of high school, graduate and everything in May or June. So, I'm sure that Coach Arth can't wait for them to get up to speed and everything, and, see what possibilities that they have. And with the new SoCon schedule for UTC out, it looks like we could have a very favorable schedule. Everybody's got to be optimistic, prior to that first game, and then everything gets judged on that. But UTC is used to winning ways, and I'm sure that they will be looking to come back into those winning ways real soon. Also, today, a lot of the early events in the Olympiad going on over in South Korea. Pyeongchang, I think, is how they pronounce it. I could be mistaken, but over in South Korea. And they had some events that got underway today. I think curling was one of them, amongst others. I know I heard throughout the day on the CBS newscast where they were talking about that. And, a lot of diplomatic things happen at Olympics. And, we've seen a lot of tragedy. We've seen a lot of countries that have came together and talked through things because of the Olympics. So, it's been an interesting Olympiad history. Of course, 72 was a tough time, with the Olympics for the United States. And then we've had a lot where the country's been brought together, especially with the 80 U.S. hockey team, which ended up becoming a movie later on. In fact, I actually own that DVD of the movie with Herb Brooks, who later coached at Minnesota. So, and a lot of those players went on to have successful NHL careers. And that's an interesting note. The hockey players are not coming from the NHL. The NHL did not want to kind of suspend their season for the Olympics. So most of the athletes that are representing USA Hockey are coming from the colleges. And you know what? My opinion, okay? My opinion only. I think you should have the best athletes possible. But the Olympics, I think the spirit of it should have been more on the amateur side than anything. Now, granted, when you're representing your country, such as the United States, you want to put your best athletes out there for however long that they can successfully, be the best. There's a lot of scrutiny, a lot of performance exercises. Rigorous training that goes on. Even if I was 30, 35 years younger, I think it would have been too much for me. Seriously. But the opportunity and the privilege of representing the United States, is something that, does not go lightly. And, we wish, the United States athletes the very best in representing our country over in Pyeongchang, South Korea, with the Winter Olympics. So I know that they've been talking about the United States being able to get the Olympics back. I'm thinking that they were saying in 2024 or 2028. I know there was a couple cities that were in the running, and I think Atlanta was one of those cities. I could be wrong, but I was thinking that LA and Atlanta were the two choices for hosting a Summer Olympics and the other one hosting the Winter Olympics. So it would be interesting to get the Olympics back in the United States. They try to go to the countries where they get a lot of participation and there's a lot of safety, a lot of infrastructure in place, and some of the things which I found interesting back. I forget what year it was, but the Olympics were in Salt Lake City. And back in 2009, I had the pleasure of broadcasting the Babe Ruth World Series for Sports Network, National Sports Network. And so we got a tour around the area of Salt Lake City, which kind of reminds you of Chattanooga in a lot of different ways. A lot of highways, a lot of small towns that basically got consumed into becoming Salt Lake City. But once you get into downtown, you know the Church of Latter-day Saints is there. You cannot miss their colossal structures that they have in downtown. The mountain backdrop that's on the, I think that would be the north side of Salt Lake City, but very picturesque. And then you go out and you go down toward Park City, where they had a lot of the Olympic skiing events going on. We went on the tram going up the side, and I mean, we kept going and we kept going and we kept going. I mean, it was like very steep, very high. They still had a lot of the infrastructure in place, but they haven't really done anything with it. But the one thing that I noticed about Salt Lake City was the areas around where they had Olympic Village. There was a lot of retail that came into the area, a lot of infrastructure needs that were put into place, like high-speed internet, even back then. It was more than just T1 lines and that sort of thing. Satellite capabilities were quite great. And I mean, you could see that still. And the Olympics had been gone for quite some time. But, they said, the people that were giving us the tour around Salt Lake City, it was like 5 to 10 years after the Olympics left the area that the tax incentives, walked away. Those businesses that came in, they enjoyed the tax breaks and off they went to another area. So it's like, yeah, it can be good, but it can also be bad in the long run. And so, I mean, Salt Lake City's been trying to revitalize itself and, fulfilling a lot of those empty buildings and stuff that came about because of the Olympics. And hopefully that's, not the case in other places, around the United States. It's had the Olympics. Lake Placid, New York, I'll give you a good example there. They had the Winter Olympics up there back in the 80s. I think it was, that was in 80 itself. That was the year that the hockey team won over Russia. And up there, Lake Placid is up at the very top part of the state of New York. And, you're not far from the Canadian line. And, for a town, it's relatively small, but, there wasn't a huge set of buildings that were built and, basically left abandoned after a while. I mean, they basically have utilized the area. They've, the Lake Placid region is still picturesque and gorgeous. And they try to keep the theme of a lot of the buildings that were built up there for the Olympics in 80, where they would be a usable entity even after the Olympics left. And pretty much is the case. I mean, I was just up to Lake Placid here maybe about 5 years ago. And when I was doing hockey and stuff and covering a team that I was doing their play-by-play for. So, not all areas get, having issues like that. So the Olympics, they start tonight on NBC at 8:00. And I guess Mike Tirico, Katie Couric, are going to be hosting that. Katie back with the Peacock Network again. but they'll be over there hosting that. And of course, a lot of coverage will be given with that. And I know on radio, select locations, you can actually hear some of the broadcast, of the Olympiad going on over in Pyeongchang. But we've got a phone number for you to call in. Give us your thoughts. 423-800-8949. 423-800-8949. We've got more Sports Talk with Sam Jordan coming up after the break, so stick around on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Back in a moment.
Chattanooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A couple got into a scuffle over a gun in Dunlap, and a woman was shot. 48-year-old Clark Morris suffering minor wounds to his arms, but he's the one who is charged. This wasn't your regular domestic assault, though. Instead of threatening to shoot each other, the couple threatened to shoot themselves. A SWAT standoff ended early this morning on Isbell Road in Lookout Valley. A suspect was arrested, accused of reckless endangerment. The SWAT team says that it started out as a disorder call with a weapon involved at 7:30 last night, and it ended early this morning. A Chattanoogan was punctured by cold steel. It happened early in the morning hours yesterday. The victim was on West 12th Street when the stabbing happened. The unidentified victim was gravely wounded in a vicious attack. A person of interest has been detained. The Sean Hannity Show is on every weekday from 3 to 6 on Nooga Radio. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Mom's stew pot, her exercise bike, her bookcase of cheap novels, Mom's estate. Oh, just call Dan. He'll sort, organize, clear out, tag, sell, and in a few days, hand you a nice check. 314-4034. 314-4034.
Oh, man, rush. I've got to get stuff for the party. Where can I go that's going to give me a wide selection of beer, wines, and spirits? Oh, I got it. I'll go to Harry's Wine and Spirits, Signal Mountain. Maybe East Brainerd Wine and Spirits in East Brainerd. I could go to Riley's Wines and Spirits in Hickson. Wow, look at the huge selection in here. Look at these great prices. Amazing. Oh, yeah. I'm going to find something for my lady, too. I'm going to make this party a success.
Make your party a success when you stop in at Harry's Wine and Spirits in Signal Mountain, East Brainerd Wine and Spirits in East Brainerd, and Riley's Wine and Spirits in Hickson. An automated nuclear missile defense system has suddenly entered into launch mode, and you are the only one who can stop it. Escape Experience Chattanooga. Your team has just been infected with a deadly virus. Your only hope? There, in an abandoned farmhouse. Escape Experience Chattanooga. Handcuffed in a maximum security prison, you have an hour to flee. Escape Experience Chattanooga. These escape scenarios and more at Chattanooga's best escape room game and team building platform. Call now. Slots are limited. Register online at escapeexperience.com/Chattanooga. Escape Experience Chattanooga.
$25 goes by quickly these days, and 25 cents still just a quarter. 25 is the years of experience Schultz & Associates puts behind filing your tax return quickly, correctly, and electronically. Schultz & Associates.
Hi, I'm Chip Chapman. The IRS set some special dates this year regarding filing your taxes. It all may make filing a little more confusing this year. The professionals at Schultz & Associates can answer your questions about multiple incomes, income from rental property, special circumstances involving your children or family. Call Schultz & Associates 899-1130 and arrange an appointment to work out the details of your tax return. Schultz & Associates, 6310 Bonnie Oaks Drive.
Baseball sluggers often wear the number 25, or 25 is a full MLB roster. Just happens 25 is also the years of experience Schultz & Associates puts behind filing your tax return quickly, correctly, and electronically. Schultz & Associates, 899-1130.
Traffic, news, and information. Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Expect fair to partly cloudy skies to continue through your nighttime. Cold overnight, lows mid and upper 20s. Now for your Wednesday, look for some sunshine with a breeze out of the north, though. Light cold, highs up around 40 with more mainly dry and cold weather expected through Friday. Celebrate the new year with Dixieland Fireworks. Locally owned with the largest selection around. A Black Cat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks, just off I-75 on Ringgold Road, East Ridge. And I'm Sworn Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. News Talk Nooga Radio. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Sam Jordan's Nooga Radio, 92.7 Sports. Now.
Welcome back to segment number 2 of Sports Talk with Sam Jordan here on Nooga Radio. Glad to have you along, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook Live, or just listening terrestrially at 92.7 FM or digitally at 95.3 FM HD4. 423-800-8949 is the number to call. 423-800-8949, or you can text me on Facebook while we're live here with the show. And we want to mention to you, coming up, Notre Dame High School will be hosting the Division II Class A District II basketball semifinals and finals going on Thursday and Friday. Chattanooga Christian's the top seed. On the boys' side, Notre Dame girls are the top seed for the girls. Semifinals will take place on Thursday. Consolation and finals will be played on Friday. The top 4 teams will advance to region play. The boys' seeds have the following: Chattanooga Christian, Notre Dame, Silverdale, Grace, Boyd Buchanan, and St. Andrews. The girls' seeds have Notre Dame, Chattanooga Christian, Silverdale, Boyd Buchanan, Grace, and St. Andrews. All right, games got underway at 4 o'clock with Notre Dame girls versus Boyd Grace. We don't have scores or anything. Chattanooga Christian boys taking on Grace Boyd Buchanan winner at 5:30. Silverdale and St. Andrews winner will take on Chattanooga Christian at 7 o'clock, which would be underway. Notre Dame boys taking on Silverdale or St. Andrews at 8:30. And then the Friday games are like this: girls consolation at 4, boys consolation at 5:30, girls championship at 7, and boys championship at 8:30. So that is going on at Notre Dame High School. So still some basketball action going on. Let's see here. Baylor's Abby Vibert signed her soccer papers to continue her career at Lee University. She attended Baylor school her sophomore year and was ineligible until the end of the soccer season in the fall. Then started for Baylor as a center back that year and helped lead the Baylor soccer team to a state runner-up place. She's leaving Baylor with finishing her senior season of 14-0-5, winning the Division II state championship, being ranked number 19 in the nation, and was also team captain. Abby was a huge part of the success, according to staff, so she's getting to continue on, pardon me, with her soccer career up at Lee University. All right. A lot of other things to talk about. Bradley's Ryan Howard is on the list for the second straight year as a finalist for the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards for 2017-18. Howard, who's led the Barretts to a 32-1 record last season, finished runner-up in her junior season. Let's see, on the boys' side, Brainerd's Jesse Walker and McCallie's Junior Clay are among finalists. The awards will be presented to the top girls and boys in 5 classifications. I have the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association on the floor of the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State on Tuesday, March 7th at 7 o'clock. Statewide Committee of Sports Writers selected winners based on performance during the 2017-18 regular season. Academics and character were also taken into consideration. High school head basketball coaches and members of the media nominated the finalists. It's the 34th year that the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards have been presented to Tennessee's best high school basketball players. American General was the sponsor of the event since the inception of the awards in 1985 until 2001. And that was around the time that they merged with American Insurance Group and basically took a Nashville product and took it down the tubes. I can say that. I used to work for American General when AIG took it over. That was around that time. But a lot of things changed with American General. But anyway, the Memphis Grizzlies were sponsors of the awards from 02 to 04. From 05 to 2015, the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards were presented at the conclusion of each respective championship game as part of the post-game trophy ceremony. The draw for the Division I Boys State Basketball Tournament will be held prior to the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards on the floor of the Murphy Center at 5. The draw for the Division I Girls State Tournament brackets will be scheduled for 2 p.m. on Sunday, March 4th at the Doubletree Hotel in Murfreesboro. The 2018 Mr. and Miss Basketball finalists are Division IIA Miss Basketball finalist Casey Collier from Webb School of Knoxville, Ashton Homey of USJ, Ashlyn Pittman from Friendship Christian. Division II AA Miss Basketball finalists include Sydney Harvey from Brentwood Academy, Savannah Owens from Briarcrest, and Dontavia Wagner from Ensworth. Class A Miss Basketball finalists include a pair of teammates, Tess Darby and Chloe Moore from Greenfield, and Courtney Pritchett from Pickett County. Class AA Miss Basketball finalists, Gracie Dishman from Cumberland County, Taylor Lamb from South Green, Akira Levy from Upperman. Class AAA Miss Basketball finalists include Brene Alexander from Riverdale, Elizabeth Dixon from Ridgeway, and Ryan Howard from Bradley Central. The Division IIA Mr. Basketball finalists include CJ Gettelfinger from Grace Christian Academy, Keon Johnson from the Webb School, Malik Riddle from Rossville Christian Academy. Division II AA Mr. Basketball finalist is Junior Clay from McCauley, Darius Garland from Brentwood Academy, and Cedric Henderson Jr. from Briarcrest. Class A Mr. Basketball finalists include Areco Gibson from MASC, Jason Hicks from Oakdale, Caden Mills from Van Buren County. Class AA Mr. Basketball finalists, Kadrian Johnson from Marshall County, Jaden Lockett from East Nashville, Jesse Walker from Brainerd. Class AAA Mr. Basketball finalists, Mark Freeman from Southwind, Tyler Harris from Cordova, and Alex Lomax from Memphis East. So congratulations to Bradley's Howard, Brainerd's Walker, and McCauley's Clay as award finalists for Mr. and Miss Basketball for Tennessee. That's awesome to be nominated from our area like that. Okay. 423-800-8949 is the number to call. 423-800-8949 is the number to call for Sports Talk here with Sam Jordan. Coming up in a little bit over 25 minutes or so, we'll have The Clutch with Keon Rose. And then coming up, we have Two Millennials Talking. I believe that's the working title, right? Two Millennials Talking. I'm not getting a response from the peanut gallery. They're probably ignoring me like they normally do, but Keon and Russell Stroud will be entertaining you with their thoughts on millennial subjects. I'm assuming. I have heard it a few times, and it's not that bad. Really, it isn't. Gives you some interesting thought to ponder on. Okay? Is that a good way to describe it? Sure, why not? Sure. Hey, while you got an opportunity, come here for a second. You're live on the air. Tell us what you should be talking about here tonight on the show. Two Millennials Talking, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's not the inside joke.
That's not the inside joke. That's the real name of the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about is your question? Oh, I have no idea. We never know. We just leap into it and hope something good comes out.
In other words, fly by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, that's basically how we conduct all of our conversations. Basically what the show is Keon and I bantering about nonsense, and it usually ends up actually being pretty funny. So we're pretty happy with it.
That may be the only reason why Mike Steele lets it on the air.
Because it's kind of funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. I think the humor factor is the biggest part.
Okay.
One thing I will talk about, though, by the way, we are going to mention Altered Carbon, which is a show on Netflix. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, how it compares to the book, lots of nerdy crap. So tune in for that if you're interested.
Okay.
There you go.
Sports transitioning into that's not too bad.
No, actually, it's the nerd factor is there. It's just a totally different subject. It's nerdy. You transition from being really nerdy about sports to being really nerdy about like stuff that kids my age are interested in. By kids, I mean 20-somethings.
Yeah. He's like 22.
22. Turned 23 this year.
Well, hopefully if you make it that far.
I don't know if
my boss doesn't kill us.
Yeah, with this business, I don't think I'll make it that far.
But the one thing I will say, you see him now, you hear him now, but he's also here early in the morning getting ready to do the morning show with Val, which I will give you lots of kudos. You two are really great. And if you want to catch all the news you need to know, tune in to Chattanooga's Morning News, 6 to 9 a.m. with Russ and Val. I'm telling you what, it's no nonsense for the most part.
For the most part.
News, traffic, sports, weather. Russell here keeps you updated with a lot of the traffic issues if Randy misses it.
Which does happen. And, traffic is such a fluid thing. It's easy to miss stuff. It's not his fault. It's just, it is what it is.
Right.
Traffic is so fluid. You got to keep an eye on it.
And then with Val, with the weather, and Patrick Core, they're always constantly communicating and trying to convey. There is one big news, though, that just came out. You want to talk about that?
I do. Yeah. Hamilton County schools are apparently closed because of the flu. So we knew it was coming just based upon how the flu has gotten so bad here. They had over 100 teachers last week who were out with the flu.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of kids are sick. So they finally decided, you know what, for the rest of the week, we'll just close it down. And I think they're going to make a decision over the weekend whether or not to open up on Monday. So we'll find out then. But you hear all about it in the morning. You'll hear about it tonight. You'll hear about it in the newscast that's coming up. So we got it covered.
All right. Chattanooga Morning News, 6 a.m. with Russ and Val. Make sure you tune in. Two Millennials Talking coming up at 9. Yes. I'm still trying to get used to the shift change.
Oh, no. Actually, you know what? It's on at 8. I apologize. It comes, it would be Keon's second hour, but we take that and use that for our show. So it's actually on at 8 from 8 to 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm the chopped liver lead in. Okay.
Sort of. No, you get Keon to sort of pad it out. You got you and then you got Keon with sports and then we go into our show.
Okay. All right. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for a lot of other things. Russell is one of the hardest working guys around here. And so we still got time to talk sports. We were just trying to give you a little bit of a preview of Two Millennials Talking coming up. It's been a long-standing show, not necessarily a long-standing butt of jokes, but, it is an interesting show. So make sure you tune in. Once again, Hamilton County schools are closed tomorrow due to the flu. I'm thinking there's also a couple other school districts that are also closed because they want to try to make sure that they get everything cleaned. And you do not have any idea how extensive that is to hit all of the schools and try to get them not necessarily sterilized, but as clean as possible for the students and the staff. So it's not like the administrators are wanting to get a day off to have a 3-day weekend. It's more for keeping others from spreading, the germs and getting sicker or getting other people sick. So Coahuila Creek head coach Dean Thompson has decided to add college coaching to his resume, agreeing to become the new cross-country track coach for Dalton State. Mr. Thomas ran cross-country and track at Georgia Tech. He's the oldest runner to ever win the Myrtle Beach Marathon at 47 years old. He's a 2-time Chattanooga Track Club Runner of the Year, Run for Good National Race Director since 2014. He led Coahuila Creek to 8th for girls and 11th for boys and finishes at the Georgia State Championship meet in his first year. Mr. Thompson will get his first taste of college action this spring when the Roadrunners hit the track, literally running, and hopefully having a very successful season. So a lot of accomplishments there for Coach Thompson and helping Dalton State out. It's always good to see when not necessarily an individual, but in an entire team getting an award, not just for winning the conference or winning state championship or anything like that. This is actually a very good thing. The Baylor girls cross country team has been recognized by the Tennessee Scholastic Sports Athletic Association as a recipient of the Distinguished Scholastic Achievement Award. It's the third consecutive year that the Red Raiders have received the honor. This year's squad posted a remarkable team grade point average of 3.84 during the fall 2017 season. In addition, 92% of the team earned further recognition as recipients of the Student Athlete Award of Merit given for maintaining a GPA of 3.5 or higher while in the competitive season. That's not an easy task either. Baylor won 3 prestigious cross-country meets this past season: the Tennessee Classic, the McCauley Invitational, the Front Runner Championship, and paced by all-state performances by freshman Emmerich Garrett and junior Sydney Kanzler that finished 4th at the state championships. Baylor coach Heather Ott expressed her pride in the accomplishment. Quote, "One of the many gratifying aspects of coaching these remarkable athletes is the fact that they are so completely committed to the life of the mind and to excellence in all pursuits." Amen to that one. 3 years in a row winning a state Distinguished Scholastic Achievement Award, the Baylor girls cross country team. So that is just amazing altogether. I wish we had more schools in our region that would strive to achieve such success, such as that. All right. Let's see here. Covenant men each Berea 68-66. Caleb Haynes tip in off a missed 3-pointer with 3.1 seconds left in the game gave the Covenant men's basketball team that victory at Berea on Wednesday night. In USA South action, the win is the 5th in a row for Covenant, who's now 13-8, 8-5 in the USA South, and clinches a spot in the USA South tournament for the Scots. It also completed a season sweep of Berea, who drops to 7-14 overall, 3-10 in the USA South. So congratulations to them. Covenant will return to the Barnes Phys Ed Center on Friday night to host Greensboro. Tip-off set for 7:30 p.m. So a lot of good news coming there with Covenant making its way into the USA South tournament coming up here very soon. The Clutch with Keon Rose will be coming your way here shortly after the news at the top of the hour with two millennials talking. Russell Stroud will join in, and I see the second half of the tag team duo will be here to talk about the various things that they talk about. Okay. All right. And also the Mocs are going to be in action at the Roundhouse with their homestand that they have going on. And if you get an opportunity, make sure you head over to McKenzie Arena to catch and support a lot of Mocs basketball going on. Softball, I believe, is getting underway. As I mentioned during the sports updates, I believe it was the Covenant softball team had originally had scheduled 3 games on Saturday, a triple header with Roan, and they eventually have moved those games, 2 of them, to Friday to start at noon, and then also at 4 o'clock. The third game is still slated for Saturday. However, they haven't determined on whether or not they want to go ahead and play it on Friday, pardon me, after the second game or not. So, just have to tune in to find out more on that. So, congratulations to all the various student athletes from around the Tennessee Valley for their National Signing Day festivities. UTC was partying it up as they were able to get a vast number of signees that will be joining the Mocs football program. And like I said, hopefully we will know more a little bit closer to time, but Coach Tom Arth, having him in studio talking about Mocs football. And after the National Signing Day and the early signing day that happened here back in December, and talking about some of those recruits and where the future of Mocs football is headed. Only up. And it will be a very good Mocs football team coming up. And, of course, UT's enjoying a vast reaping of wealth in student athletes, one of which signed yesterday, and the other one is guaranteed as a walk-on from our immediate area. So a lot of colleges really working hard and trying to better their programs around the region. So, and a lot of that talent is coming right here out of the Tennessee Valley. Well, until we talk again, we hope that you have a great night. Keon and Russell are coming up next. You're on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Have a good one. Until next time, so long.